and welcome to the Momversation Club, the podcast born out of the idea that every mum needs a tribe. I'm Claire Strong.
And I'm Christina Struckmeyer. We're two moms just like you, navigating the chaotic, challenging, and often isolating world of motherhood.
Oh yes. Now, it's said that it takes a village to raise a child, but we want to know, where the F is that village?
It's a question that resonates with so many of us who find ourselves raising children, managing careers, and trying to maintain our identities, often with a sense of isolation.
But we're here to remind you that you're not alone. The Momversation Club is your village, a place where you feel valued, appreciated, and understood.
We believe that by sharing our experiences, successes, and struggles, we can create a virtual village for all you amazing mamas out there.
So join us every week for an honest, raw, and most importantly, relatable discussion about all aspects of being a mom, including the things that you just can't discuss with anyone else.
So if you've ever asked yourself where the F is the village, then you found your tribe. Let's get into it.
Hi, Christina.
Hello, Claire. I'm feeling pretty festive today. Got my
You
little
are.
hat
You're
on.
looking pretty festive. You're wearing a Santa hat. It's cute.
You know, I'm really into it this year. Like, I'm really into Christmas. I feel like the joy that it's bringing me is much needed, and I'm trying to do all of the things.
Do you think though that's because, like, Stella, your eldest, is now an age where she can understand Christmas? Do you think that's got something to do with it? Yeah.
Yeah. I've loved Christmas since she's been born. But she's kind of been just along for the ride up until now. And now that she's a little bit more aware of like what's going on around her, she's really into it. And like she wants to write the letters to Santa and like do all the Christmas things with me. And it's really fun.
That's so cute. So when my girls were younger, I took them to Lapland in Finland to see the real Santa. But it was funny because I didn't know, it's when is the right time to do stuff like that? When is the perfect age? Is it when they're really little, but then they're not going to remember it? So do you wait until they're a little bit older? But then there's that fine line between them still believing and them thinking, it's all made up. So I took them. They were 5 and 7 when I took them to Lapland. So I think they were really good. They were really good ages. Although even my youngest doesn't remember too much, actually. Sophia, my eldest, remembers more. But we have some great photos and stuff. So yeah, but I remember that time when, the girls were in their prime, if you like, for the whole, Santa and all of that. And yeah, I think you're in that era now. So that's nice.
Yeah. And my youngest, she's got limited words because she's still a little. And she knows the word Santa. And it's so cute because she thinks anything with Christmas is Santa. Like that's the name for it. And so the tree is Santa, like the garlands are Santa, everything's Santa.
That's so cute. Tell you what I do miss. I do miss being able to threaten them with Santa. I used to say, Santa's watching. We've got Santa cams around. Santa's watching and you need to behave. Otherwise, it's going to go back to Santa. Well, I can't use that now, can I? Because I've got 2 teenagers. They're going to tell me where to go. So what do I do? They're going to say bro. Because bear in mind that because they're teenagers, I quite often get called other words other than mum, like bro, dude, bra. It's like, what the heck?
Oh, no,
the name is mum. You say, oh no, you wait. Wait.
No, bra.
Yeah, you'll be answering to bra. Like, bra. I think it's a California thing as well. Because we are in like Southern California. We're in SoCal. So it's that surfer dude kind of thing, isn't it? But yeah, it's like bro.
Oh my goodness.
Bro? Like, who the heck are you talking to calling bro?
Apparently you.
Apparently me. So I answer to all names now. All names. But I digress. So yeah, we are nearly at Christmas, aren't we? It's come around so fast.
I know.
Oh my God.
We look at the calendar in October, and I don't know about you, but I'm very aware that once we hit holiday season, the days just fly. And every year we get to the end of December and I'm like, oh shoot, I have this gift to get. I have this thing to do on my to-do list. And it just feels like I'm running around like a crazy person.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter how much I intend to plan ahead. I never do. for example, on Christmas Eve, I'm always wrapping presents.
No.
I usually haven't wrapped one present by 10 p.m. on Christmas Eve, but I try and embrace the chaos. So I have my Christmas carols playing, and it's okay. I chalk it up to this is just what happens on Christmas Eve. Mum goes to bed at 3 a.m. And I try and improve it. I try and improve it and get a little more organized, but I struggle in that department. So instead of fighting it, I just kind of embrace it. It's okay. I'll drink my Baileys. It's all good. It's once a year. How bad can it be that I'm sleep deprived on Christmas Day? It is what it is. So, yeah.
Well,
But
when the kids are kind of going through their presents and stuff, maybe you can get a little cat nap. Maybe that could be an annual tradition you start.
yeah, maybe I start that from this year. I love the sound of that one. Yes.
Yeah.
Now
Well,
Mum
I
has a
mean,
nap.
we've talked about like making your own traditions and stuff and kind of making your own way as a mama. Sounds
Yeah.
like you've kind of made the last minute gift wrapping part of your annual Claire as a mom tradition.
Yeah, it's definitely a Claire thing. I'm sure most other moms listening to this are like, oh my God, like what the
No,
hell?
you're in
I'm
good
so
company. I can
organized.
guarantee you that there are many, many moms that are like samesies, absolutely still doing that. Yeah.
Well, if you're a mum like me who just, can't get a what together in time, please just, drop me a nice comment and just make me not feel quite as useless.
Oh, you're not useless, Claire. But
Oh,
I feel
no.
like, for me, I get most of it wrapped ahead of time, but there's
Yeah.
always those like last minute people that I forget. And then
Yes.
I'm that girl or that lady at the store, trying to be in line with a million other people getting like the last minute things. And I hate that. I always intend to try to get it wrapped up by December 15th, and it never happens because it's always like, oh crap, I forgot about the speech teacher, or I forgot about Aunt so and so who's going to be at the Christmas this year. It's always something.
So do you have a date then? That's interesting. You said December the 15th. That's quite specific. So do you have a cutoff time by which all Christmas things have to be done?
Well, all the like Christmas wrapping and stuff and like the gift giving
Okay.
piece. But like, yeah, I try to get it done by mid-month. Like
Huh.
I intend to get it done by mid-month so that way I'm not every year I try not to be this crazy person at the end of the month.
Okay. Okay.
I hope that I can take Christmas week to like relax in the magnificence that I've created for myself, but every year it never happens.
I
And I'm
like
the
that
gal.
idea though. Christina, I like that idea. You've inspired me. I may try and push myself to get things ready a little earlier so I can relax. I might try it. I don't know that I'm going to make it, but I might set myself that goal because we're recording this today. It's December 1st today. It's
Yes.
December 1st. And we do the mum win and mum fails at the beginning of the podcast. And so
Yeah.
I actually want to bring them in right now because I'm feeling really happy with myself. Now,
Ooh.
we spoke up, yes, because remember we had a full conversation about elves on the shelves and how
Yes.
much I hate them. I hate them. Um,
We
well,
we we all feel similar about the elves on the damn shelves.
yeah, they're just the bane of my life. Anyway, but this is my mum win for the week, and it's a real big one, actually. Last night, I remembered that it was December the 1st Eve, and who needs to appear in the morning or by the morning?
The
The
elves.
elves on the shelves. So I'm really pleased with myself because I actually remembered that I needed to get them out like the night before December the 1st, and I
Yeah.
could find them. And I could find them because
Oh, that's
these
even
damn
better, Claire.
things,
You'd have to
it is.
Amazon a new one. That's
Yeah,
great.
because the thing is, I put them away for safekeeping, even though my girls are teenagers now. It's kind of ridiculous because I did let this slip a bit last year and I got reprimanded off both girls because the elves didn't appear on December the 1st. So even though they are older, they expect these traditions. And so I put the elves away somewhere safe, but then you forget where that safe space is.
I
However,
hate that.
last night, I headed into the garage and I found them immediately. They were exactly where I thought they were. And so, yeah, so I'm really pleased with myself because I found them. A, I found them, and B, I put them out. And so this morning when the girls got up, they're older, so they're not screaming with excitement, but both of them had a little smile on their face. And I said, oh, look who arrived. And they appreciated it.
Do the elves
So that's
do
my
anything?
mum win of the week.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
Congratulations, that's a huge
thank
win.
you.
Um,
That's huge for me. What about
so
your win?
day one, your
Mhm.
elves just like they show up. Do they do anything naughty on your day one? Did you set them up with anything?
Oh no, I couldn't be bothered with any of that.
They're
Honestly,
out.
my main aim for the elves on the shelves this year, and it was the same aim that I had last year, is we have two young dogs. So we have three dogs because we're just crazy. They're all rescues. We're the worst. We can't foster dogs because they never end up leaving our house. So I've got a rule that we're never fostering any more rescues because we can't seem to let them go. Anyway, so we have three dogs, and two of them are still young. They're a year old. And one of them, Ivy, who is my baby, she loves soft toys. She loves teddies, and she just rips the stuffing out, tears the eyes off or whatever.
Oh,
So
wonderful.
my main aim. In fact, I've got a fail that's related to this. My main aim for the elves on the shelves this year is for them not to be eaten by ivy. And so wherever I put them, I have to have in the back of my mind, I need to ivy proof the elves on the shelves.
They've got to be
So
high.
because of that, yes, because of that, their places may be a bit restricted, which is fine by me because my imagination is also restricted when it comes to the elves on the shelves.
Is that Ivy?
No, that's actually Belle. That's
Okay, I was like,
Belle.
she
Can you
hears
hear
you,
her?
and she's not here for
So
your plan.
so that's Belle. She's probably howling because I'm not mentioning her.
Oh,
Yeah, Belle is the other rescue who, as you can hear, is very vocal. But
oh,
I want to tell me your mum win, and then I want to tell you my mum fail because it's also to
wow.
do with teddy bears and soft toys and Ivy, actually.
Yeah, yeah. Well, my mom wins also Christmas related.
Uh-huh.
I have an advent calendar that my mother-in-law bought us about a year ago, and it's like from Pottery Barn. And it
Okay.
has where you like every section has its own envelope space, and like you can put things in the envelopes. And what I decided to do every year is instead of putting presents in there, I do experiences. And so I go on
Oh,
Canva and I create these little
yeah.
slips that fit exactly into the envelope that are like Christmassy. And each day there's something special for us to do. So like in the morning we look at it and we go, "Oh, today is hot cocoa and Christmas movies." Or today we're baking cookies or making a
Oh,
gingerbread house or
get
something Christmassy.
you.
And
Oh my
it's
God,
it's
you're
just
one
something
of
I
those
enjoy.
You're one of those moms, aren't you? You're one of
Oh,
those. You're like my hero.
oh
I
man, no.
aspire to be. When I grow up, I aspire to be you, Christina. That's
It's just
great. I
one
love
thing I do
it.
well.
Well, I love it, and that's a huge moment. Let me just say something though. So we've mentioned before about all the differences in traditions between, where I'm from in England and here, and advent calendars are a huge difference because my mum and dad arrived today from England, and I requested that they bring chocolate advent calendars with them, which are 10 a penny in England because that's what everyone has. Like you go into a grocery store and there's like 1,000 of them. Anyway,
Yeah.
I can't seem to find them here. So if ever I have to order them off Amazon.
Yeah, you have to order
And
them.
my mother-in-law about two Christmases ago, she sent the girls these really lovely fabric advent calendars, but I'd never seen them before. Because in England, our advent calendars are chocolate. That's all they are. You
Oh.
open peel back the paper window and it's Cadbury's chocolate inside. So that's what the girls grew up with when they were little. And I can't find them easily here. So my mum and dad are bringing them over. And they're literally like a pound in England, $1, for example. They're
Yeah.
so cheap. And the
Yeah.
chocolate's not even great quality. But so the girls are really excited to open their advent calendars. But that
Yeah.
is a difference because the fabric
Yeah.
advent calendars are not a thing in England. Like no one ever has fabric advent calendars. They're just chocolate.
Yeah, yeah. Well, advent calendars in general aren't like everybody doesn't do them. Like not every single person has an
Oh,
advent.
okay.
And then I have friends that do them that they're toy specific. So it's like maybe
Ah,
like a Dora the Explorer advent calendar, and each little day there's like a separate toy that comes with it. We don't do
yeah.
that because I hate clutter. I despise how many toys are already in the house. So I'm like
Yeah.
anti toys. But I do like the experiences. And so that's the
I love
win is I
that.
actually got my shit together and like did
Good
the
for
slips of
you.
paper Last year, I couldn't say the same. I did it on Post-its, which was just as magical, I will say.
Oh.
But I
And
drew
did
a
you like
Christmas tree
I
on
was
each one.
gonna say, did you doodle some little Christmas drawing? That's great.
I
Well, good for
did.
you. I love the idea of experiences. Maybe I'll do that next year. I've got to say though, my girls did request a Sephora advent calendar, which I didn't quite get my act together in time to order one. But those things are like $50 or something. They're
There
expensive.
is, like, so many
I
videos right
want
now
one.
going around of, like, what the teens are asking for this year,
Yeah,
and it's, like,
yeah.
UGG boots, Lululemon leggings, and, like, Sephora
Oh
gift
yeah,
cards, and I'm like,
yeah.
"What the" I
So
remember
yeah, but
asking
listen.
for, like, a Walkman.
Oh yeah, I remember those too. But the thing is, so my girls are at an age now where um, all they want is gift cards. Now they have made Christmas lists, so there are some physical things to buy,
Okay.
but it makes it easier, Christina, because if you just like shove a Sephora gift card in a little envelope or a Lululemon or a Victoria's Secret, even. I mean, oh my God, they're like beyond thrilled with it. So in some ways, it makes it easier to buy for because you're actually not buying like presents,
That's
and
true. You're just
they
kind of
love the gift
slipping it through.
card.
I
Yeah.
remember when we did gift cards when I was older, the for
Mhm.
adults, like, we would do, like, Starbucks gift cards or whatever,
Yes.
they put them
Yeah.
in the tree. They'd be, like, ornaments in
Oh,
the
that's
tree,
cute. That's
and so you'd
cute.
have
I
to
like
find
that.
them.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
So you got to
Yeah, older
work
kids.
for it.
Yeah, work for it. Put the Sephora at the very top, make her get to all the way to the top of the tree.
Oh
Work
my
for
God, that's
it.
so funny. I want to know about anything that you've not done so well this week because I need you to make me feel better about myself. So, what have you failed at? Surely you failed at something.
Sure. I'm thinking of all the things that I've failed at
Yeah,
recently, and
I
I'm like,
know.
"What can I
I
say
know.
on
It's
camera?"
overwhelming. Yeah.
Um,
I always have
I
so
will
many more fails than wins.
I know. Well, this week's been pretty calm in comparison to previous weeks, but I will say that I have had a pile of Christmas like decor that I haven't quite gotten up that's been on my
Yeah.
dining room table for like
Yes.
the whole week.
Yeah.
And
I have
every
some of
day
those.
I walk past it and I'm like, I will put that garland up. I will put it up
Yeah.
tomorrow. Like I was just like
Yes. Yes. Yes.
and so
Yes.
it's becoming larger and larger because I I have a mother-in-law who lives down the road from me, and we this is she
Jules,
listens to our show, but
mother-in-law
like
Jules.
we're gonna lay
I
out
know
out
she will.
there.
Hey,
Um,
listen, we need to have sorry to interrupt. We need to have a mother-in-law special because my mother-in-law listens to us too. Yay to the mother-in-laws.
oh
We
my gosh, thank you
appreciate
for your
you.
support.
Yeah, thank
No,
you.
she does this thing that I call the boomer basket, which is she brings
Right.
over like a bag of things that are from her house to bring
Mm-hmm.
to my house. And it's
Okay.
usually like items that I didn't really ask for or want. And so there are
Oh,
a lot of items that got piled on top of the Christmas items on my table that are from the boomer baskets. And I've been doing this thing lately where I reverse boomer basket her and I look around my
oh.
house and I find things that she needs at her house and I bring them to her. So we're kind of just
So
swapping junk.
is this an ongoing thing or is it Christmas specific? Or I've
No, it's
never even heard of it.
ongoing. It's ongoing,
Oh.
and it's, like, it's so sweet. Sometimes there's amazing things, like, the other day she brought, like, a Santa Squishmallow for, my daughter, and she goes to the store, she'll be at Marshall's, and she'll be like, "Oh, I saw this poncho and thought of you," and that's in the basket, and so
Nice.
it's a mixture of, like, things where I'm like, "Oh, that's cute," and then there's other things where I'm like, "What an interesting choice." Like, that
Okay, but then is she offended when she comes round to your house and sees or doesn't see the things that she put in the basket?
So I it depends. It depends on what it
Yeah,
is, right?
that
Because
could
some
be a
stuff
little
you can be
awkward.
like, "Oh, it's not the right season to wear that," or it could be like, "It's in the closet and I'm gonna wear it tomorrow," or something. It just depends. It depends on what it is. But if it's something important to her, like if it's like something that she used to own and like
Mm.
values, I obviously display it or put it somewhere nice. But some stuff is just like, what? Like I don't really want that. The other day she brought ice cubes to my house, like an ice cube tray. She's like,
Oh,
"I noticed that you don't have ice at your house, and I really enjoy ice, so I brought this ice cube tray so that you can make ice and have it here for when I'm here." And I was
oh,
like,
that's so
"That's
funny.
great."
Oh my gosh. Well,
So that
it's
one I have
funny.
to have because, like, she's gonna
Okay.
notice that there's no ice.
that's fine. I mean, it's not like it's cluttering up your living room.
Nah, it's not too bad. In the grand scheme of what mother-in-law problems other people have, like,
Yeah,
my
that's pretty
mother-in-law
minor.
loves hard. Like, that's her thing.
That's nice. And yeah, Jules is great. I love your mother-in-law.
Oh, I like how we named
Um,
her. Now everybody knows who we're talking about.
I was gonna say, listen, yeah, our mother-in-laws are listening to this, so we may need to be a little careful what we say. But no, we love our mother-in-laws, and
We
actually,
love them.
we do. And so
That's our tail, the junk that keeps piling and never will get put away.
yeah, yeah. But so we were in Oklahoma last week because it was Thanksgiving, and that's where my in-laws are. So we spent how many days? Probably 5 days with them last week, and it was the sweetest thing. So our release is Wednesday. We release our podcast every Wednesday, and Wednesday morning she's listening to something, and like she's walking around carrying a phone, listening to something, and I realized it was us. I was like, "Oh my god, you're listening to the podcast?" She's like, "Oh yeah, I listen to it every week," and it was so sweet. So
I
thank you,
love
Sally, my
I love
mother-in-law.
hearing
It's
when
not
people, like,
nice.
tell us that they're I have some people that are, friends and people that maybe I don't talk to as often that have
Yeah,
messaged me, and they're
yeah,
like, "I really love this podcast. It was so funny," and, like, they'll tell
yes,
us feedback, and it's just really nice. Like, the holiday boundaries when we released was, like, I got a
yeah.
lot of messages about how helpful that was for them during the holidays because they're dealing with very similar issues.
Okay, so let's get to today's topic. What are we talking about, lady?
Yeah, so we hinted to it earlier in the
Uh,
episode, but like having that last minute craziness sprint towards Christmas, like the final week of Christmas, because this
yes,
episode comes out on the final week of Christmas, like
it
right after,
does.
right before.
Before, yes, the week before, the
Yes.
Wednesday before.
So we talked a little bit about this before recording, like what are some tips we have for like future selves for this time next year? What are some things that we're going to be doing right now to kind of get ahead and get after it so that we're not the last minute crazy with the chicken cut off head or whatever at the
Yeah,
end
yeah.
in the target line
Oh my god, on Christmas Eve.
on Christmas Eve with your Baileys. No, I'm
Oh,
just kidding.
yes, yes. Oh, we're not endorsing that. Although,
No.
I will definitely be having a Bailey's at home on Christmas Eve when I don't need to drive to Target.
Yes, yes, yes. So for me, it always starts with like making a list. I am a big list maker. I
Yes,
like a to-do list. I
yeah,
like everything right in front of me. So like, like Santa does, make a list, check it twice, like
yeah.
put down all of the things that are like tumbling up here onto a paper so that it's organized chaos.
Yeah, that's a great tip. And I'm trying to implement that in my normal life, whether or not it's Christmas or not. But you're right. If you physically put something down on paper and you're looking at it, it's so much more, it's easier to digest for me. It makes it less overwhelming. And then it's kind of gratifying when you can tick off what you've done on that list, whether it's literally on a piece of paper, or if it's on your phone or whatever it is that you're using. It definitely helps keep me on track, especially if you have the type of mind like I do that can get distracted easily,
Yeah.
and lists really help with that. It just hones your concentration and you can see the progress that you're making as well. Lists aren't just about keeping you, holding you to task, as it were. I think they can also be a confidence booster because you can actually see that you're making progress.
Yeah, yeah, and for me also, what I do is when I do a to-do list, I
Hmm.
try to look and see what's realistic for, like, actually getting done in this timeline. Like, if
Okay.
I have put way too much stuff and I only have 4 days, like,
Yeah.
that's not going to get done unless I delegate some stuff, and
Uh,
when I'm doing that, I ran a successful, business of my own for several years, and I was kind of a one-woman show during that, and
yeah.
something I learned at, like, a professional training was the idea of looking at your to-do list and being like, "What are the things on this list that only I can do?"
Oh, that's interesting. Yes.
Like,
Yes.
highlighting, these are things only I can do, like shopping for my husband's Christmas gift. I'm not gonna send my
Yeah.
husband to do that. Like, that's a
Yeah.
that's a me
Yeah.
thing.
Uh-huh.
But there's some things that we take on as mamas where it's
Yeah.
like, that actually could get done by someone else if we let go of it being perfect.
So, for example, you need something from the grocery store. You don't physically have to go and get that. Your husband could go and get it.
Yeah, or you could do, like, what are some other ways? Like, you could do grocery pickup. How many
Yeah.
times has a friend offered to pick something up from the store, like, while they're there,
Yes.
take them up on it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, or simply ask for help. I know, oh my god.
Yeah.
Just
I know. I still struggle in that area asking for help. And my husband's pretty good. He will say, fairly regularly, let me know what I can do to help. But we've had this conversation before, and I do struggle in that area because my default setting is, oh no, I've got it. I've got everything. And I don't always have everything. And I could do with that help. But in that moment, I just think I have to, oh no, I can do all, I can do everything. It's fine. I've got it. I'm this superwoman. And of course I'm not. None of us are.
no.
So
No,
I
and
do need
it's
to
like
ask for
that,
help. Yeah.
if you've ever tried to carry all of the groceries into the house and you're like got all the bags, stacked up to your
Yeah.
arms, and you've got
Why
like
do we do
something under
that?
your chin, like Gus Gus the
Yeah.
mouse from Cinderella. Like the
Yeah.
likelihood of you dropping something's pretty high when you stack
Oh,
yourself
it
that
is.
heavy.
It is. And that's like a literal example, but metaphorically speaking,
Exactly.
it's the same thing, isn't it? You can, if you stack yourself up too high with stuff, balls are going to get dropped. Things are not going to get done because it's impossible to complete everything. So that's interesting. So you're making lists, and lists right now are very important because it can be really overwhelming.
Yeah, I'm making lists. And then also I'm just
Mhm.
like being gentle with myself of like,
That's
what's
nice.
something on like what's on my list that is something that would be nice to do but doesn't have to get done? Like
Okay, like
what are some
what?
things I can
Like
just
what?
straight up not do?
Okay, so give me an example because this
So
is
for
a learning session for me.
For instance, it would be lovely if I were to, like, I don't know, bake something for the class and bring it to the classroom for like the Christmas party they're doing. But like, what if I didn't do that? Would anyone die? Probably not. And so,
No.
like, can I take that off my list, or can I get something store bought and like, or be like the
Yes.
paper towels lady this year? Like maybe that's my
Yeah.
capacity, is bringing the silverware and the plates. Like
Mhm.
maybe I'm not at like maximum level me right now. And so being realistic of like what shit can get scrapped, and like
Yeah,
if it doesn't get
exactly.
scrapped, how can I make it work for like where my current abilities are?
Hmm. I like that. That's a really healthy way of looking at things. And therefore, you're not going to feel like a failure at the end of the day when you haven't got everything done that you thought you had to do.
Yeah, if it's not something that has to get done, like again, one of the things that really comforts me as a mom
Mhm.
is my children don't know how this shit is supposed to go down. Like
No,
they
no,
don't
no, they
have like
don't.
a master copy of all of the moves I'm supposed to make or all of the things I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
I'm making shit up as I go over here. And so if
Aren't we all, Christina? I'm certainly doing that. Me over here too. Yes.
yeah. So it's like if I don't do something that I intended to do, no one's going to be upset by that but me, and I choose to make that upset happen. Or I can
Yes.
just simply say, this isn't the year for that. Like I've got too much shit going on, maybe next
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. So I purposely didn't volunteer to be an adult dancer in the. Oh, sounds a bit wrong. Let me rephrase that.
Yeah, Claire? See, Christmas money. Is
Okay.
this about money?
Yes, it is. I promise. I promise. Just hear me out. This is where I'm going. So let me rephrase. So my daughter, both my girls dance, but one of my daughters is in the Nutcracker, and there's an adult party scene. It still sounds wrong, but it's the party scene, the opening scene in the Nutcracker, and they need adults. And so for the last couple of years, I've volunteered, and I'm one of the dancers. And this year, I didn't put myself forward, and the reason I didn't is for the reasons we're just discussing, because it was something that I didn't have to do. Yes, it's nice to do, and the memories and all of that, but it's a commitment. It's every whatever Wednesday from 8 p.m. till 9:30 when I don't necessarily have that time. And I just thought this year I'm not going to commit to that because it's just too much. I've got other stuff. I'm busy with businesses, with the podcast, with all the other stuff. And so I
Yeah.
didn't sign myself up. Now, is there a part of me that feels a little guilty still? Yes, there is. There's a 5% of me that feels like, oh, I didn't make those memories with Eva and I wasn't on stage with Eva. But then I also need to think, yes, but why did you come to that conclusion? And I came to that conclusion because I know that I'm tapped out right now, and that extra commitment just wasn't good for me.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
also, you mentioned like, oh man, there's this loss for Eva, right? But like, what did she gain? And what she gained was a mom who doesn't feel like this anxious anxiety hovering over her every
Yes.
time the practice comes
Yes.
about that she also
Yes.
has to go to.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So that's where I'm at with that. So it's interesting you brought that up.
Yeah.
So what other last minute things have you like got to or not got to? Oh, sorry, that's my dogs playing in the background. They're excited. They're in the Christmas spirit. They're
Yeah.
excited for Santa coming.
We're gonna have to do Christmas stockings for them this year and put like
Oh
squeaky
God,
toys
for
and stuff.
sure, for sure.
Ah, I love it. I'm going to send something your way. Um,
Yeah.
Well, again, in that same vein of like scraping shit off your list, like one of the things I decided to do this year that I didn't do last year is the Christmas card situation. There is so much pressure with Christmas cards. I don't know if you feel this, Claire,
Oh my
but
God. So I'm about to bring this up. So you carry on and I'll tell you because Christmas cards, that's where I'm really struggling this year.
because
Yeah.
in theory, it's like, oh, it would be so nice, like to give a Christmas card and to get a Christmas card, but it's not just the Christmas card. It's like, if you want a portrait, like, do I need to go get Santa
Yeah.
pictures with the girls? Do I need to
Yeah.
take a family picture? What will we wear? How will I do my hair? Is my hair colored enough for that picture? Like, it's a whole thing.
Oh my
Then
God. It
you've got to
is.
collect all the addresses and then figure out the card organization of like the design. And it's a racketeer. It's a racket situation.
It totally is. And it's so stressful. And I was going to bring that up because we're talking about last minute craziness. I haven't sent out any Christmas cards yet. And the thing is, I live a good distance from my family. They're all back in the UK. And because I don't see
Yeah.
them very often, a lot of my friends I don't see, years at a time. And so I feel obliged to go that extra step and send them like a photo card. So I'll go on to Moonpig and do a whole like collage of all these nice pictures from the year. But it's so time consuming and I haven't got around to doing it yet. And so
Yeah.
that's something that's on my to-do list. It's
Yes.
kind of a stress. And yes, I could make it less stressful and not do the whole, photo thing. I don't go as far as having like an actual portrait. I don't go as
Yeah.
far as hiring a photographer to come and take a photo of us on the beach or in front of a fireplace or something.
No,
I don't
no
go that
judgment for
far.
those who do, because I used to be that mom when I had one kid,
Yeah,
and it was
I
easier.
get it.
And
I don't have the time. It's expensive. I don't have that capacity, so that's never going to happen. So
yeah,
I go like one tier below, and I send these photo cards. So it's a mashup of 4 or 5 photos or whatever.
of the
Um,
year.
yeah, of the year, yeah. But even it's time consuming. That's half a day because I've got so
Yeah,
many people I need to send it to. And then I noticed that, one of these companies were doing like a half off coupon if you ordered them by a certain day. And in
yes,
my head, I was like, oh yeah, that's what I'm going to do. But of course I didn't do it. Of course I didn't
yeah.
do it because,
So,
I just didn't have time to.
so again, can it get done? And is there an easier way to do it? Right. So for
Yeah.
me, this year, I was like, I am not going to get it done in time, like to be
Mhm.
sending it out so people can enjoy it for several weeks before Christmas. That would
Yeah.
require me to get it out on December 1st. I know
Yes.
myself, like rule number 1 in motherhood, know thyself. Not going to happen. So
Oh,
instead, I'm doing New Year's cards.
oh, that's nice. Now, New
So
Year's
it
cards
can
have
come
saved me
anytime in
before.
January.
Yes. Now, so that's funny because I have sent out New Year's cards before, and I'll be honest, the reason I've sent them out is because I forgot to send those people a Christmas card, and I felt bad.
Oh,
So yes, so I know. I was just thinking, should I even say this?
oh
But
man.
sometimes it's not that I don't like these people, which is why I didn't send them a Christmas card. I kind of forgotten to. And then I'm like, oh, geez, maybe they sent me a Christmas card. And then I feel so bad. And so I send them a New Year's card. But actually, maybe flip this on its head. New Year's cards may be the way to go because they are, it takes the pressure off the Christmas build up and the crazy last minute stuff.
Yeah.
And they're still relevant throughout January.
Yes. And also you mentioned like they might send you a Christmas card. This might be a little cutthroat. So I'm going to just go ahead and put it out
Oh,
there. Because
go on
again,
then.
just reminder to everyone, I'm an Enneagram
Yeah.
8. I'm a Scorpio. Like I'm pretty blunt.
You
I
don't want to mess with
say
Christina, ladies. I don't. I never mess
don't
with her.
cross me. No. So I don't know if you recall back in the day, there was a social media platform called MySpace. And they used to have like
Yes.
the top 8, right?
Yes.
And
What happened to
when
that?
it went under. I left
Okay.
MySpace when Facebook started getting big,
I
and
was
I
going to
don't
say,
know what happened.
hang on a second, wasn't MySpace before Facebook?
Yeah, it was.
And Facebook replaced it. That was it, wasn't it? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, everybody kind of migrated over to Facebook, and MySpace kind of went the wayside of like other platforms. But regardless, something they used to have on MySpace was a top 8. And you would select like 8 of your most valued friends and family and set them on a list in ranking of best to worst, basically. And
Oh.
what I
Oh, I
would
didn't
do
know
is
it
when
had
I was
that
angry with
feature.
someone, I would slide them to number 3.
Oh,
But
I don't remember that, but that's harsh.
it's a harsh thing. But anyways, all that to say is something I do every Christmas, and maybe this is a little bitchy or petty, is I save the envelope addresses of like whoever sends us a Christmas card.
That's
And by
smart.
January 30th, if I don't receive anything from them, I go to my Christmas list. And if I'm not good friends with anybody that like didn't send me, they get cut. So if
Do you
Aunt
know,
Susie didn't send a card to me and like she's like someone I don't see very often, um,
is she a real aunt?
no,
If
I don't.
you
That's
oh,
a
I was
fake
gonna
name,
say,
dude.
geez,
Like
that's a bit harsh.
no,
Naming
but
and
like
shaming actually
like
on the
the distant
podcast.
relatives, because
Oh.
like I started out with Christmas lists being my wedding list. Like everybody
Yes,
I invited to my
okay, that
wedding.
makes sense. Yeah, yeah.
And then as the years go on, you add friends, you add people you meet, like it's a long list. And it's expensive. Christmas cards are expensive. So
Oh, yeah.
if I don't like you and you haven't sent me a Christmas card, you get nothing.
Jeez, my God.
So if you
So
get a
what,
Christmas card from
if I
me,
don't as in
you are secured to my top 100, okay?
so but what if so are you telling me then if I don't receive a New Year's card from you, I mean, is that the end of our podcast? I mean, do I need to look for a new co-host?
No.
What's the point?
No, I like you. This is for people I
Oh,
do not
okay.
like. If I don't like you and you send me a Christmas card, I will send one back. But
Oh,
if I
okay.
don't
Well,
like
that's good
you
to
and you
know.
also didn't send me a Christmas card, then you don't get on the list next year.
Jeez. You are
That's what's up.
you don't want to mess with Christina. Blimmin'
I
heck.
guess not. But you know what? It saves me some stamps. So,
It does. And actually, the Christmas cards are extremely expensive, especially if you're doing the whole photo shebang like I
and
do
like
with Moonpig or
personalized
whoever.
envelopes and all the things.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a
I
whole
mean,
thing.
it's well over $100. It's more like two.
Expensive.
Honestly, it's more like $200, which is why I was supposed to get it done early and get the 50%
Get the
off. But
coupon.
of course, I didn't. Of course, I didn't. But
You
that's
know,
yeah, that's crazy. But
I'm just
I
saying, like,
well,
I was just saying it may seem harsh, but one, it saves money. And two,
yeah.
my husband's the same way. Like we were doing the Christmas card overview this year and we were going through and like there was some where it's like, oh, that person died. So we got to change the address to just that person. And this person remarried. So that's like gonna change the name and going through everything. And he's like, oh yeah, that person right there, we don't fucks with them anymore. I'm like, delete. Like
Oh my God. Hey, do you remember? I think it's still a thing, but when like email cards came in and some
oh
people
yeah.
send those instead. I don't know. I've not received like an e-card for a few years, but I remember
Oh,
maybe a few years ago they were quite popular. People were ditching the actual physical cards for different reasons. I think price, saving time, and also because they're more eco-friendly, I guess,
yeah.
than a printed card. But yeah, that's funny
I
stuff.
think it's a whole like the industry is like so anyways, all
Oh,
that
it's
to say,
massive.
if you
Yeah.
have not done a Christmas card, one, you don't have to. You could do a digital or like maybe you send a New Year's card and that covers the situation and you don't have to even worry about it. So maybe we've just stressed out people even more because they were like, we weren't even thinking about doing a Christmas card, but now Christina won't like me if I don't do one. So whole thing.
Yes, however, I love the whole New Year's card idea because it just gives you that extra breathing space to send a card.
Yeah,
So that's the way we should go, ladies,
we
from
should do
here on
it.
out, New Year's cards. Well, this has been a fun chat, and I feel a little more de-stressed because the
Yeah,
stress is ramping up. So I guess the takeaway from this is just be gentle on yourself. And it's not the end of the world if someone doesn't get a Christmas card or there's, something that you've forgotten. We're still going to be able to hopefully enjoy our day and spend it with family. And that ultimately is the most important thing, isn't it?
absolutely. And I think that we got to remember what the season's about. It's about taking in that
Yes.
time together, sending out love. And if there's things on your to do list that don't get done, don't stress on it. Just let it go. Like Elsa says from Frozen, let it go.
Let it go. Perfectly said. And so that brings us to the end of another episode of the Momversation Club.
And if you've enjoyed today's show, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a review. Your support helps us reach even more moms and build a stronger village.
Yeah, and just remember that we're here for you, and together, I promise, we'll figure out where the F that village is at.
See you next time.
Bye.